Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Department of Justice wants to do away with Obamacare completely. And the search for a missing Richmond mother continues, and an important deadline is approaching. Plus, police in Corbin are looking for the person who stole from a business.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. It is 6:31 on Thursday, May the 2nd. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning into Mountain News this morning. It's going to be a soggy weekend. That's really all we can say about it. Rain starting to pop up all over the region, and we'll see that trend continue through today. But Brandon, he's paid to tell you all that, so I'm going to let him take the floor. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning. I'm going to get you some coffee, Will.
I'll take anything at this point.
That's right. A little rain this morning making you tired, and we're taking a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar, and you can see starting to pop up across the region a little bit of heavier bands of rain, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder as well. We'll take you on a tour here in just a few minutes, but Stonecrest Golf Course, one of the closest cameras we have to one of those cells there. You can see those big clouds there in the distance outside WYMT studios. Not a whole lot going on just yet, but we're going to see more chances for scattered showers and storms throughout the day. 60 to 70, that's the temperature range this morning. The forecast, 82 this afternoon. Chances for rain go up to actually 60% today with scattered chances for showers and storms. The rest of the forecast is on the way here in just a few minutes. Will?
Alrighty, Brandon, thank you. Well, yesterday was another dramatic day in Venezuela. Caracas streets are filled with people both for and against the government of President Nicolas Maduro. Some protesters even being fired at with tear gas. Opposition leader Juan Guaido is calling for a general strike and for protesters every day until new elections are held. Speaking at a mass demonstration Wednesday, Guaido says now is when the real pressure on the Maduro regime begins. Now, the Department of Justice wants to do away with Obamacare completely. In new court filings, the Trump administration called the Affordable Care Act unconstitutional. Government lawyers say instead of picking and choosing which provisions to invalidate, the entire law should go. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals will hear arguments on the issue in July, which could tee up a Supreme Court case. President Trump has worked his entire presidency to get rid of the law, the signature legislative achievement of the Obama administration. Now, the Affordable Care Act currently provides health care for millions of Americans. Abusive parents are hopping state to state, escaping the scrutiny of authorities who may have no idea there are past issues. Our national investigative team has found multiple instances of this happening with deadly consequences. Here's Investigate TV's Lee Zerl.
Heaven is an angel in heaven now. She was such a blessing. She always brightened up my day, especially when I was stressing.
A poetic tribute to an 11-year-old beaten to death by her own mother. Heaven Watkins, an innocent girl who loved to sing. ABC. Failed by the federal government, including an agency that ignored the law. Born with a disability, Heaven grew up in Minnesota, where court records show a long history of Child Protective Services involvement, including her mother losing custody. After her 18-month stay with her aunt, a Minnesota judge returned Heaven to her mother. Heaven's mother moved to Virginia. After years of interaction with Child Protective Services in Minnesota, she started over in a new state, leaving behind her abusive history.
So Virginia had no idea what happened in Minnesota.
No.
After police say her mother's boyfriend burned her right hand with hot water, allegedly unaware of the history, the state of Virginia returned Heaven to her mother. On May 18th of 2018, a post on Facebook, Heaven Watkins died. Police say killed by her own mother and her boyfriend.
Yeah, it's very hard because for a while I blamed myself because I was like, what else could I have done?
Child abuse experts say things could have been done to protect Heaven. A law even exists, but it's been unfunded and ignored. A 2006 law signed by then President Bush called for the creation of the National Child Abuse Registry. The registry would allow states to enter names and abuse cases into a national database, giving states the ability to track perpetrators. But the Department of Health and Human Services, or HHS, never created it. In Virginia, a state lawmaker is trying to save these kids, innocent children like Heaven Watkins. Virginia's governor recently signed Heaven's Law, which requires officials to check a caregiver's abuse history from other states, going at least 5 years back.
If Heaven's Law had been in place a year and a half ago, I firmly believe that Heaven Watkins would still be alive today.
Orridge says it's all part of Heaven's legacy, helping prevent more child deaths. A little girl who loved to tell a good story, silenced by a mother who slipped through the cracks.
Heaven's mother pleaded guilty to felony homicide. Her boyfriend's trial is set for May. In Laurel County, a woman is accused of being drunk around small children. Deputies say Tequila Barton was fighting with a woman in an apartment on Campground Court. They say she was belligerent and did not understand what was going on when police and social services arrived. Barton blew nearly 3 times the legal limit. Deputies say she had slurred speech, red eyes, and smelled of alcohol. She is charged with public intoxication. We have new information in a bizarre story this morning. Monday, we told you about Ronnie Helton's arrest. At the time, they said he picked up a hitchhiker and tried to have sex with him. But while getting undressed, investigators say the man took off in Helton's car. Yesterday, we learned that man is Michael Paul Collins. He, too, faces charges now. Investigators say later that night he met a man in Jackson County to trade cars. While test driving the car, deputies in Clay County say Collins never came back. They found him yesterday morning. He faces theft by unlawful taking and other charges. It has been more than a month since J.D. Hacker was killed near the Clay and Leslie County line. Police say Alfred Derrick Francis killed him while he was driving under the influence. Francis was sent to the hospital as a result and released before he could be formally charged. Now, police are looking for him, and Hacker's 2 daughters are pleading for Francis to turn himself in.
You took something very precious to me and my family, something that we can never get back.
If you know where Alfred Derrick Francis may be, you are asked to call KSP Post 11 in London. The search for a missing Richmond mother continues. Savannah Spurlock disappeared in January after a night at a Lexington bar. Her family has not given up looking for her. They are offering a big reward for information leading to an arrest in the case or finding her. But that reward is only up for 2 more weeks. Spurlock's aunt says police put an expiration date on the reward in hopes someone would come forward sooner. On Friday, friends and family posted flyers around Garrett County where she was seen, but nothing has led to her return. Police in Corbin are looking for the person who stole from a business. There's surveillance video from the Hippie at Heart. It's on Main Street, and police say the break-in happened around 3:30 yesterday morning. They also say this is the second break-in at the store. If you know anything about this, call Corbin Police. When county equipment is stolen, that money is taken from taxpayer dollars. The most recent crime is just part of a string of thefts in the Brushy Fork area of Magoffin County. A $300 battery was stolen from a backhoe used to fix county roads. Judge Executive Matthew Wireman says each theft is adding up to a bigger problem.
And anytime we have a loss like that, it costs the taxpayers money. And these batteries alone, anybody that's replaced a car battery knows they're not cheap.
If you have any information on the stolen battery, you can call the Magoffin County Sheriff's Department at 606-349-2914. A new grant awarded to Hazard Community and Technical College helps create a 3-year, $627,000 apprenticeship program for students in Hazard and Perry County. Piloted right here in our own backyard, the K-Tech model gives students a chance to follow a pathway geared towards their career of choice and step into full-time employment after graduation, or even continue working towards an associate's degree. Young people decide if the job fits them, and businesses decide if the person fits the job.
We now have to look at creative ways that we can start to remedy our workforce. This morning, I have 115,000 open jobs here in the Commonwealth. I have to fill them.
Now you can learn more on Issues and Answers Monday night at 7. Well, it's 6:40. Let's toss it over to Brandon for a breakdown of what to expect on this Thursday. Brandon?
Some chances for rain starting to pop up. Let's take you on a radar tour. You can see across a lot of the areas some greens and reds and oranges showing up there. Over into Breathitt County now, we're seeing those rain just south of Jackson there near Hardshell, around the Canoe area out there, just on 15 and back over toward 28 there, down toward Buckhorn. We go over toward the Big Sandy. Some showers there along US 23 between Paintsville and Louisa. Inez just south of that going into northern Pike County, seeing some rain down just to the south of Martin as well, and then down toward Cumberland. Allen, over toward my house in Letcher County, and then down into parts of southwest Virginia as well. Temperatures across the area, we're looking at 60 in Monticello to 70 in Prestonsburg. Not a whole lot of movement this morning. The out-the-door forecast for you does feature temperatures that climb. We'll see some drier periods, but still chances for scattered showers and storms will return this afternoon, and there could be some strong winds with them. We'll talk more about that in a full forecast here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, we will have stories that are trending on WYMT.com next. As always, thank you for joining us right here on Mountain News this morning. Those stories still to come. A man in Virginia says he has no regrets about smashing a window to free a dog that was locked in a hot car. And across Kentucky, over the past 3 years, thousands of dog bites have been reported to animal control officials.